Hello, everyone. Welcome to TD Board Gamers. My name is Dave,
And I'm Dirk.
and today we're going to do our 5 deck ideas for the upcoming Tigra Hero. Uh, so Tigra is one of the 2 heroes that's coming in the upcoming Civil War expansion. And what we do with this series of videos is deck 1 will be modifying what we know of her precon, and then
Yeah,
deck
which is not a lot at this point.
well, yeah, and then Dirk's got a couple of deck ideas, and I've got a couple of deck ideas.
Yep.
But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to kind of do a quick review of what Tigra is all about and what she can do. So let's start with her alter ego.
All right, so our alter ego is Greer Nielsen, who is a police officer or police. She has a recovery of 3. She has a hand size of 6 and 10 hit points. And as an action, she can do undercover work, which is search her deck and discard pile for a copy of Hunted and add it to your hand. She can do that once per round.
Okay, and Hunted is an upgrade. And the article said that there's 3 copies, so and you'll see why that's relevant when we see her hero card. Uh, it costs 0, but as an additional cost to play this upgrade, search the encounter deck and discard pile for a minion and put it in play, engage with you, attach Hunted to that minion and stun it. And then interrupt when the attached minion is defeated, ready Tigra.
So 2 things I loved about this is you can search the deck and encounter and discard pile. So it's way easier to get a minion than with a lot of the other methods that are out there. And the second thing is on her interrupt, it doesn't matter if she is the one who defeats the minion.
Yeah, it's just when it's defeated. All right. And then her hero.
So her hero, Tigra, is an Avenger. She thwarts for 1, attacks for 2, and has 3 defense. And each minion with a copy of Hunted attached to it loses guard. So, yeah, I'm kind of surprised they put that on her and not the Hunted card, but they probably did that for space reasons. But as a response on the hunt, after the player phase begins, you can draw 1 card for each minion engaged with you to a maximum of 3.
Yeah.
So she really does want minions engaged with her. I mean,
Yeah.
not just on the table. She wants them engaged with her.
Right. And the nice thing is, at least when you're pulling them from the Hunted, they're stunned. So you're not getting overwhelmed by, having a whole bunch of minions,
Yeah.
Engaged with you, at least for a turn. You can delay their deaths for a little bit. All right. We're just going to go over a couple quick cards of her kit that are important. Cathead's Amulet, 2-cost upgrade. Exhaust the amulet to generate a strength resource for each minion engaged with you to a maximum of 3 strength.
So that plays really well for aggression decks right there, especially.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll work for anybody, but especially aggression because of the fact that it's a strength resource.
Yeah, and spoiler, she comes in aggression.
Yes.
Then she's got Tooth and Claw. So this has reduced the cost of the event by 1 for each minion, and costs 4. Deal 4 damage to an enemy, deal 4 damage to another enemy, and it's a superpower.
Yeah.
So that could be good for Death Focus.
Yeah, and this one, unlike the other couple of cards that we've already, or the couple of things we've already seen, this one doesn't limit to the number. So if you have 4 minions, this one's free.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so the more minions she's got, the cheaper this card is. And then she's got Sharp Claws, which gives her another +1 attack. So she's now got a 3 attack instead of 2 because she was a 1, 2, 3. But what's really nice is you could choose Overkill or Piercing. So it's like you got an annoying guy with toughness. Okay, I'll give it Piercing. Or, the minion only has 1 hit point left. So I want to give it Overkill so I could do some damage to the villain.
It's really nice. I love versatility.
Yeah, that's a very, very important card in her kit. And it's a weapon, which will be relevant when we get to to the modifications of deck 1.
And then she's got the cat-like reflexes, which are a superpower upgrade. So with this, I mean, Death Focus definitely helps with it. And since you do have to discard this one, because when you would take any amount of damage, you can discard this to prevent 3 of that damage, and then you may confuse an enemy engages you. So that's optional. But so you will be playing it again. So Death Focus will help pay for this. But so far, we've only seen 2 superpowers. So
yeah, but there's a bunch of cards in her kit.
Yeah, we haven't seen the majority of her kit yet.
And then she's got her thwart power is actually an alter ego. So she's kind of follows the line with She-Hulk and Gambit, when she's doing thwarting an alter ego. She doesn't look like she's going to be a very strong thwarter without building or injustice or
Yeah.
something maybe. But you can exhaust the precinct, remove one threat, and you can remove an additional threat for each minion engaged with you. So that's pretty nice. All right, and then okay, so for deck one, we are going to cards that we think will modify what we know of the of her precon. So first, let's look at the aggression cards that she comes with. So we got an ally here. Go ahead.
So the two-gun kid is an Avenger. He costs 3. He thwarts for 1, attacks for 2, and has 3 hit points. And as an interrupt, when he makes a basic attack, you can choose 2 enemies instead of 1 to resolve the attack against. Because two-gun kid, he does have 2 guns.
Okay. Then we have Coup de Grace, 2-cost event. Defeat a non-elite minion with an upgrade attached. Ignore any when defeated abilities on that minion. And the hunteds are upgrades that you attach to minions. So
I'm wondering if there's going to be more in her kit, but we know that the hunteds are, and there's 3 of those.
Yeah, they didn't show a lot of aggression cards. Here's an upgrade right here. So this is a reprint with a new art though. But so go ahead, you want to go?
Yeah, so the suppressing fire is a 0-cost upgrade. It's a tactic. You can attach to a minion, max 1 per minion. But whenever you attack and defeat the attached minion, you heal 2 damage from your hero. So yeah, she's wanting to kill him, and then this is a way that she can heal up without having to actually flip down. So
all right, and then we got Savage Strike. It's a 3-cost event. When you make a basic attack, you get +6 attack for this attack, and the attack gains piercing. So when we saw the claw and her base 2, that's a 9. That she's doing 9 damage with piercing.
Yep.
And so if we got this card, then you could also do overkill. You could choose overkill with a claw because you got the piercing with this. So now she's doing 9 damage, overkill, and piercing. So that's amazing.
And then the aggressive conditioning. Now, this one, I think I loved seeing this one. This is a 3-cost upgrade. It's a condition. You can play it under any player's control, max 1 per player, but you get +3 hit points, and your hero gets +1 attack. So you've got a combat training and an endurance combined.
Right. And now that Savage Strike does 10.
Yes.
And as far as we know, there's nothing that stops you from putting combat training in as well. So that can make it an 11.
Combat training as well, yeah.
Yeah. And you can put endurance for that matter and have an extra 3 hit points. So because she comes in with 10, so this would give her 13, and
she'd have 16 then.
Yeah, she'd have 16 health. All right. So yeah, so the first card I thought about adding is Angela. So 0 thwart, 2 attack, 3 hit points, Asgard Guardian. So after Angela enters play under your control, search the top 10 cards of the encounter deck for a minion and put it in play engaged with you. Shuffle the encounter deck, and if a minion was not put into play this way, discard Angela. So, Tigra wants, she only has 3 copies of Hunted. So at some point, you're not going to have access to the Hunteds. And so you want other ways to get minions in so that you can get your full +3 hand size.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Angela only works in the from the deck, so you want to try to use her whenever you've got a full encounter deck.
Yeah.
All right, next one we've got here is Hulk. So Hulk is a 2-cost ally. He's a Gamma Avenger. He cannot thwart, but he attacks for 3 and he has 5 hit points. And as a force response, after he attacks, you discard the top card of your deck. And depending on the resource it has, what it can do at that point. If it's a strength resource, it deals 2 damage to the enemy. If it's an energy resource, it deals 1 damage to every character, regardless of whether hero or alter ego, and everybody, good, bad, ugly, whatever. And discard Hulk if you do a mental, and if you do a wild, you do all of the above. So yeah.
Okay. Then we got Spider Girl. So she's an Avenger. So like team building would help with her. 2-cost ally, 1 thwart, 2 attack, 2 hit points. After you play Spider Girl from your hand, stun and confuse a minion. So again, you want lots of minions, but you may not be able to handle them. So her being able to stun and confuse is amazing.
Oh yeah, gives you some time. All right, next we've got Sunfire. So Sunfire here, pretty standard for most aggression decks, but definitely helps out here. So he is a 2-cost ally. He's an X-Men. but he thwarts for 1, attacks for 2, has 2 hit points. But as a response, after you play him from your hand, so he does have to come from your hand, you spend an energy resource and choose an attachment with the text hero attack or hero action or hero response, and you discard that. So it's a good way to get rid of the attachments on the villain.
Yeah, so he doesn't quite fit the theme of the deck, but I love having Sunfire in pretty much all my aggression decks
Yeah.
just to avoid the nasty upgrades that the villains can get. All right, then we got 4 Odin Sun, 3 cost ally, 1 thwart, 3 attack, 3 hit points, Asgard Avenger. He comes in tough, but when Thor attacks a minion engaged with a player, spend an energy resource, resolve the attack against each minion engaged with that player. Now, with the Hunteds, it doesn't matter who defeats it, because it says on the Hunted here.
Yeah, it did not matter who defeated it with the Hunted.
Yeah, it just, so she still gets the ready. But, if Tigra finishes it off, of course, then, she gets the Hall of Heroes point.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, Hall of Heroes might be in this deck.
All right, and then next we've got Throg. So Throg is a 2-cost ally. He has an Asgardian. He thwarts for 1, attacks for 2, has 2 hit points. And after he enters play, if you've got a minion engage with you, you can give him a tough status. And you are almost certainly going to have minions engage with you, so he will usually come in tough in this deck.
I didn't realize that this was going to be an Asgard heavy deck.
Well, I mean, come on, this style was originally an Asgard for Asgard characters, so most of what we've got is Asgard related.
So then we have Bring It. So Bring It is a 0-cost event, max 1 per phase. Draw 1 card for each minion engaged with you. Plus, you also have this, which gives you 3. So if you have 3 or more minions, you get to double up on at least 3 of them.
Yeah, so there you get 6 of them. Or, I mean, if you have more than that, you can potentially get more. But
yeah, but you're only getting 2 cards for up to 3. But
all right, then we've got Chase Him Down. So this is a 0-cost thwart event, but after your hero attacks and defeats an enemy, you can remove 2 threat from a scheme. Now, she is not the best thwarting, and especially if you're playing an aggression, but this is a really good way for especially solo players, since she's going to be defeating a lot of minions. So this is a good way for her to keep threat under control.
Apparently she talked to Spider-Man and grabbed some spider tracers. All right, then we got Dropkick. So with the amulet, so let's switch to the amp. She generates a strength for each minion engaged. So if you're engaged with 3 minions, you could generate 3 strength with this card alone. And Dropkick, what that does is costs 3. You deal 4 damage to an enemy, but if you paid using only strength, you get to stun that enemy and draw a card. So she can easily generate enough strength to
It's a free attack with stun on the villain.
Yeah.
Like it.
Or even a minion for that.
Nah, the villain. Because of that stun, I would say the villain.
Okay.
All right, so then full body charge. This is a 4-cost event. It is an attack event. As a hero action, you can deal 8 damage to the enemy. And if your hero's remaining hit points are less than your hero's starting hit points, or less than half of your hero's starting hit points, the attack gains overkill. Now, I play this a lot, and I don't tend to get the overkill out of it a lot of times because my hit points are too high. So it's a 4-cost for 8 damage, which is still, I think, pretty nice. But the great thing about her is with her, is it the claws? What is it that?
But that's only with the basic.
Yeah. That is only with the basic.
Yeah, it's only with the basic.
Oh, dang it. Okay. Yeah. So she doesn't get what I was thinking she got. But yeah. So I mean, still, but the 4 for 8, I still like that.
Yeah. All right. But speaking of
and if you do a hone technique in there, that's 4 for 12.
And speaking of the claws,
claws.
Sometimes you might be exhausted, so the claws are just going to sit there. So that's where this card comes into play. Fusillade. It costs 2. It's an attack. Exhaust a weapon upgrade you control to deal 5 damage to an enemy. So there you go. You can just exhaust the claws and boom, you've got. But she's a 2 attack, or that one card we saw made it 3. So the claws would make it 4. So if you don't, the Fusillade will still do 1 more if you exhaust a claws, if you don't need the overkill or piercing.
Yeah, and anytime that I'm playing an aggression player that relies heavily on their basic attacks, if they have a weapon, or even if not, I'll include a weapon so I can use this card, just in case.
Yeah, but that's really good, especially before you have this card in play.
Yes.
Because then she's just a 2 attack or 3 attack with the claws. So you get 2 more out of the deal.
Yep.
All right, then we got Into the Fray. It costs 3. Deals 6 damage to a minion. For each point of excess damage, you get to remove 1 threat from a scheme. So again, like Dirk mentioned before, she's not really a good thwarter on her own, although she's got that thwarting in alter ego. So this is a good way to either help the justice player, or if you do not have a justice player, you're at least contributing to removing the threat.
And there's another Asgardian.
And it's yeah, in the picture.
In the picture.
All right.
All right, next we've got Looking for Trouble. So this is 0 cost event. It's a thwart event, so you discard cards from the top of the deck, encounter deck, until you discard a minion. You put that minion into play, engage with you, and remove 3 threat from the scheme. So this is a way to, A, you get more minions so that you power up your draws and such, but you're also removing threat from the scheme, you know, to kind of compensate for her lack of threat.
All right. And again, she likes lots of minions, so this is a good card. Melee, deal 3 damage to an enemy, and then deal 3 damage to another enemy.
Yep. All right, here now we've got Moment of Triumph. So this is a 0 cost event, but after you attack and defeat an enemy, you can heal 1 damage from your hero for each point of excess damage dealt to that enemy by that attack. And you combine this one with the claws, and you're getting the overkill if you use the overkill option here. So you're getting the overkill as well as the healing for doing the excess damage. So, yeah.
All right. And again, like every time she defeats a minion, you get to ready Tigra. But so she's gonna have lots of minions engaged with her. So if they're whittled down pretty low, this is a good card. 1 by 1, deal 2 damage to an enemy, and if that attack defeats that enemy, deal 2 damage to another enemy.
Yeah,
which of course would ready you if the minion had the hunted on it.
Yeah, unfortunately, it does not do it ad nauseum, so you only get it for 2, but still,
yeah.
That's nice. 2 enemies for 1. All right, now we've got Plan of Attack here. So this is a 0 cost event. It's a tactic, but you can search the top 4 cards of your deck. And if you're in alter ego, you can do 7 instead. You're probably going to spend most of your time in hero form, though. But you're searching for an attack event and adding that card to your hand and then shuffling your deck afterwards. But yeah, I mean, 0 to draw 4 cards, or potentially 7 if you happen to be down.
Okay. And then one nice thing with Hunted is when you grab the minion and you attach Hunted to it, you stun them. And so that's where this card can come into play. Press the advantage. 1 cost event. Deal 2 damage to an enemy, and if that enemy is stunned or confused, draw a card.
Yep. All right, then we've got Relentless Assault. So this is a 2 cost attack event. As a hero action, you deal 5 damage to a minion, and if you pay for this card using a strength resource, then the attack gains overkill. And it's just using a strength resource. You don't have to, unlike the drop kick, you don't have to use all strength, but you just need 1. But if you're using the amulet, of course, you've got 2 strength resources there potentially, and you've got the 3rd one floating. So actually, can you float? No, but you can still use the amulet for it.
Okay. And then again with the claws is when you've got a basic attack, and you get you get +1 to your attack, and then you can choose like overkill or piercing. But if you want to keep increasing the damage you're doing, that's where skilled strike comes into play. When you make a basic attack, you get +2 to the attack.
Then we've got Spoiling for a Fight. So I really love this one. It's a 0 cost event. You can discard cards from the top of the counter deck until you discard a minion. You put the minion in play, engage with you, but then you ready your hero. So this one, she does love the basic attacks. So this actually allows her to attack the minion that she brings in if she was already exhausted.
All right. Then, you again, you have lots of minions, so sometimes you need to clean them up. So this is a way, toe-to-toe, choose an enemy, that enemy attacks you, deal 5 damage to that enemy. And if it's the enemy with Hunted, then you would get to ready.
You get to ready afterwards. Yep.
All right. Next, we've got Surprise Move.
Surprise!
So the reason for that is between Suppressing Fire and the Hunted. These are upgrades that go on the minions. So a couple attacks that deal with upgrades I thought was pretty good.
Yeah, because we know there's a minimum of 4 upgrades in her kit because they've already told us there's 300s and we've seen the suppressing.
Well, yeah, and there's and
Yeah, we're
there's going to be
assuming
3 copies for your collection.
probably
You know,
yes. So we're
and
probably looking at least 6.
well, and it's a reprint too. So we had 3 copies for what Iceman, I think it came in.
Yeah.
So yeah, so this is a 1 cost event. When you make a basic attack against an enemy with upgrade attached, you get +2 to the attack for this attack, and the attack if the attack defeats the enemy, you get to ready your hero. So if it's the hunted, well, she gets to ready anyways. But if it's one with suppressing fire,
yeah, you're probably wanting to try to use this one on the suppressing fire enemy.
Yeah. Okay.
And then we've also got Take That. So this is a 3-cost attack event, but you deal 7 damage to an enemy with an upgrade attached. And again, we've said that we're probably seeing more upgrades than we've already seen in the kit. Well, I mean, we're expecting to see at least 2 more. So, you know, there's a good chance you can get upgrades out there. 7 damage to that enemy. So that's pretty nice.
All right. So I feel that the claws are really important, and it kind of stinks if they're like on the bottom of the deck. So that's where this card comes into play.
So yeah, so Lock and Load is a player side scheme. It costs 1 to put into play. It comes in with 2 threat per player. But when you defeated it, each player may search the deck and discard pile for a weapon upgrade with a cost of 3 or less and put it into play. So you can put your claws in.
Yeah. Or if you added other weapons to the deck. I don't have any other weapons in these cards, but that's another option too. Or if the other play, if you're playing with Venom or something who's got in a multiplayer game, he would appreciate that.
This is one, if I were running this one in Tigra with the Lock and Load, then especially if I'm using like Fusillade, I'm probably throwing in something like the Godslayer.
Or Yarbjorn.
Because you're doing a lot of attacks to the enemy.
Yeah, throw in Yarbjorn because I'm making an Asgard deck apparently. All right, take the card.
Wait, is the Godslayer Asgardian?
No.
All
right, and then another side scheme here. Keep up the pressure. Each player may search their deck and discard pile for an attack event and add it to their hand. Then until the end of the phase, all attack events do 1 additional damage. So I was thinking of that, especially for
her Tooth and Nail.
Yeah, her Tooth and Nail for sure, and also
Coup de Grace?
No. Where is it? This one.
Oh, Savage Strike. Yeah,
I probably would not be removing this card from the deck.
No, that's a nice one, especially since she likes the basics.
Yeah.
All right, and then of course it's an aggression deck that really likes minions. So Hall of Heroes. I mean, it's 2-cost support. Asgard. But as a response, after you defeat a minion, you can place a glory counter here, and then an alter ego action. You can exhaust this, remove 3 glory counters, draw 3 cards.
Apparently, she's been training with Thor a lot. That he made her an honorary Asgard. All right, then we got Target Spotter here. It's a 1-cost support. When a minion would engage a player, remove 1 target counter from here. The minion cannot activate until the end of the phase, and then you engage that minion. So during the villain phase, since you get a card draw for each minion engaged. So like if Dirk and I are in a 2-player game and Dirk draws a minion, I'm gonna use one of these charges. The minion won't do anything until the end of the villain phase.
That's not the important part.
And then but he engages me.
That's the important
part. And now I get at least another +1 card size.
Yep.
And then like if it had quick strike or something, it wouldn't trigger until the end of the phase. But
right, and then we've got aggressive stance here. So this is 1-cost upgrade, maximum per player. It's preparation, but after you engage a minion, you discard this card, you search your deck for an attack event, and add it to your hand.
So again, especially working with the Target Spotter, as well, that could trigger this.
Yep.
And this should not be too surprising. This card's in this deck. It's a 2-cost upgrade, combat training. You get another +1 attack. So now between that and the aggressive, whatever that card was called, aggressive conditioning or something, I think it's called.
Yes.
Yeah. So between that and aggressive, without even the claws, you've got a 4 attack now. And then if you use a basic with a claw, that makes it 5.
Yep.
And then it wouldn't be an aggression deck.
Wouldn't be a modern aggression deck without home technique. So this is a 3-cost upgrade.
Keep going.
Now it does require 2 mentals to play it, and max 1 per player. But as an interrupt, when you play an aggression attack event, so it does have to be an aggression event, if you paid for this event using a mental resource, you can increase the amount of damage that event deals by its printed cost. So something like the Savage Strike here, it's normally a 6. If you've paid a mental and you've got the home technique out, it's now a 9.
Yeah. And I don't know how she natively can generate a mental,
Actually,
but
no, it does
yeah,
not work with the Savage Strike. Savage Strike's not an attack.
oh, it's not an attack event.
It is not an attack event. So
Oh,
it does not
interesting.
work with that. It is a skill.
And it wouldn't work with, yeah, but it wouldn't work with this either because it doesn't do any damage.
No.
But the cards that we've added, to the
Yeah.
deck,
So
definitely.
yeah, it definitely works with like the drop kick, full body charge, things like that.
Yeah, and I probably put if I'm doing the home technique, I'll probably put a Quinn Carrier in the deck to generate them.
Oh, that's right. She's an Avenger.
Yeah. All right, then we got Martial Prowess here. It's a 2-cost upgrade, max 1 per player. You get exhausted to generate a strength for attack event because you're not always going to be able to generate 3 with the amulet.
Yeah, as nice as that would be.
Yeah.
And then the last one we've got here is Test the Defense. So this is a 1-cost upgrade. It's a skill, max 1 per player. But after you play an attack event, you place a test counter here. And then once you've got 5 test counters here, you can discard this to deal 5 damage to an enemy.
Okay. And there are a couple other attacks that I thought of as we were going through. The ones that you attack an enemy with an upgrade attached because of the hunteds and this,
Oh, yeah.
the suppressing fire that we saw. Oh, yeah. So those would be good to add to the deck as well.
Yep.
All right. So
either that or just get Cyclops to play with you.
Yeah. All right. So now we're going to move to deck 2.
All right. So deck 2. So this is one. So it's a Justice deck, and like I said, we haven't seen a lot of cards for her, but we've seen a couple of things that her home techniques can stun a minion, and her which card was it that she had another card that would which was it? Hunted stuns, and then cat-like reflexes. Yeah, that one will confuse a minion. So, and this one, so with this deck, you probably are going to take advantage of the confuses. But a couple of things that I thought right off the bat, one of the first cards I'm going to be adding to the deck then is I am going to add Interrogation Room. So this is a 1-cost support location, maximum per player. But after you defeat a minion, you can exhaust the Interrogation Room, remove 1 threat from a scheme. So this one, I added it to her because, of course, she loves to defeat minions. I mean, that's a key part of her deck, regardless of which aspect she's in. This isn't one I use a whole lot, but with her, I can see this one actually being used every turn. So it actually feels like it's much more beneficial in one of her decks. It's a good way to actually remove threat. But since, like we said earlier, she doesn't do a whole lot of thwarting on her own, so a card I thought was good here to add to the deck would be Counterintelligence. This 2-cost upgrade, it's preparation, max 1 per player. But when any amount of threat would be placed on the main scheme, you can discard this instead to prevent 3 of that threat. So basically, if you have 3 of these in your deck, you try to play 1 every turn that you can play 1 to be able to keep the threat down. And you can do that whenever you're adding your threat at the beginning of the villain phase.
Well, one nice thing with these heroes that are like minion focused,
Yeah.
and aggression focused is, in solo or low player counts, making them justice is, helps offset an obvious weakness. So
Yes.
this is not a bad idea to lean in on the thwart, and then her natural kit cards are going to take care of the minions.
Yep. Right, so then another one I've got here that I think is good with her would be Informant. So this is a 1-cost upgrade, max 1 per player. But when a minion schemes, you can discard this, and the activation removes threat instead of placing it. So this one is for the turns whenever you go down, because again, yeah, she can thwart whenever she's in Alter Ego, but then those turns that she goes into Alter Ego, she can prevent those minions that she's been pulling. She can prevent one of them from scheming as well. So. And they actually remove it instead. And then I've got Intelligence here. So this is a 1-cost preparation upgrade, a max 1 per player. But after player is dealt a encounter card, you can discard this. Look at each encounter card dealt to the player. and the top card of the encounter deck. So if you're playing solo, you're looking at 2 cards. If you're playing a 4-player game, you're looking at 5 cards. But you can redistribute those cards any way you want, and then so you can determine what your cards are going to be. So if you are in alter ego, or if you're going to go to alter ego, you can play this. You can make it to where she's not going to get any thwart. The villain's not going to thwart against you, or you can ensure yourself a minion potentially. If you've got a minion coming up that is going to have a boost ability or something, you can do that. Also, though, but because you do, if you are going down into alter ego and you got minions coming out, Quake I thought was a good one here, because after a minion schemes, you can exhaust Quake and deal 2 damage to a minion. So this can help actually get rid of minions if you're starting to get a little bit overwhelmed or whatever, or soften them up for whenever your turn starts. She's one that I wouldn't necessarily put at the top of my list, but I would definitely put her on the short list, just in case I need to fill a spot. I think she's a good spot filler for that. I also thought Prism Dust here. So Prism Dust is a 1-cost upgrade. It's a preparation. It's tech. But after a minion enters play, you can discard this to confuse that minion and deal 2 damage to it. So that way, if you've got this out there, you're going to go down. So you bring in minions during your phase, and then you can throw this on there and confuse them so that they're not going to thwart whenever you go down. Because with the hunted, you stun them, play this, you confuse them as well.
Yep.
A couple of minions that I thought actually worked specifically well with her, though.
Too bad there weren't allies.
Yeah, allies. Yes, allies. I'm terrible at that. You see the way I think of the allies in the game. They're just a tool. But Cypher here. Cypher, he's a 2-cost ally. He's X-Force. He thwarts for 1, attacks for 1, has 2 hit points. But after he attacks and damages a confused enemy, you get to draw a card. So, of course, he helps you to gain more card advantage here by attacking those enemies. Spider Woman. She's a 3-cost ally. She's Shield Web Warrior, has 3 hit points, thwarts for 1, attacks for 2. She'll take 2 consequential, but you reduce the cost of her for each enemy that is confused. So, of course, we're trying to lean into the stun and confuse here a little bit. That's why I've added a few cards that do confusing, so that you can try to help get her into play potentially for free. We've got Infiltration here. So this is a 1-cost event. So, of course, you can choose a number from 1 to 5 as a hero action. Discard that many cards from the top of the encounter deck and remove 1 threat from a scheme for each card discarded this way. And then you put 1 minion engaged or discarded this way into play engaged with you. So not only are you removing up to 5 threat, but then you're getting a minion as well, which feeds into her kit. I included Scare Tactic here. So this is an attack event. It's 1 cost. You deal 3 damage to a confused enemy. I've got Upside the Head, a 1-cost attack event. It's a skill. So after your hero makes a basic attack and damages an enemy, you confuse that enemy. And if the enemy is already confused, you can stun it instead. So this is a way, again, to delay the minions activating so you can deal with them at your own convenience. And the last one I've got here is Stealth Strike. And Stealth Strike is a 3-cost attack event. You deal 4 damage to an enemy, and if the enemy is defeated by this attack, you can remove 2 threat from a scheme. So this is a way to take advantage of her attacking as a Justice player to be able to actually remove threat using her attacks. But the other thing that kind of is a key thing here is because she does like to draw a lot of cards, the majority of the cards that I've brought out here are very inexpensive to play. I mean, they have a cost of 1 or 2. There was only 2 of them that cost more than that. So when she draws a lot of extra cards, this gives her the ability to play more of these cards because they're inexpensive cards. So that's kind of the theme that I went with, is kind of try to lean into the confusing and the stunning of the minions and use that to your advantage. So, yep, that's what I've got.
You didn't want the raft?
I did not go with the raft because I thought about it, but the thing is, she's got enough cards that she can grab the minions from wherever they're at. So I didn't feel like that the raft was necessary, because I wouldn't want smaller minion games to to pull all the minions out, and then you're having to deal with it that way. The raft is not a bad idea necessarily, though, especially if you know in advance who you're going to be playing, because what the raft does is that after you defeat a minion, you can place it on the raft, and then once there are 4 of them on the raft, you would bring one back at random. So that is a way to feed minions on a more consistent basis. She was fairly consistent with it on her own, so I felt like that she could probably do without it. But if you have not having tried her, not seeing what the rest of her kit was, I didn't know if the raft was going to be a necessity.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't immediately put it into her deck.
Yeah. Well, I pull cards and then decide. I don't have my deck finalized, but
Yeah.
that's fine. Okay, so next we are going to do my deck 3, which is protection. So I feel aggression is going to be her best aspect.
Oh yeah, hands down.
You know,
I don't think there's any doubt.
Justice, like Dirk's Justice deck would be good when there's like a low player count, or
Yeah.
or the other person's not playing Justice, for example. This so this is leaning towards damaging the minions version of protection than like a perfect defense or anything like that.
Yeah, I don't see her caring about perfect defense.
No, but she is a 3 defense.
Yeah, she does have a decent defense. So I just don't see that being her her go-to.
Right. So she could easily do a perfect defense. But so we got Brother Voodoo here. He costs 3, 2 thwart, 2 consequential, 1 attack, 3 hit points. Avenger Mystic. After Brother Voodoo enters play, search top 5 cards of your deck for an event card and add it to your hand. Shuffle your deck. So you really want the Tigra events, but there's a few protection events I think in here. Yeah, there's a.
Oh yeah, you'll have some.
I'll have a couple, but yeah, I mainly would be wanting to grab the Tigra events for sure.
Oh yeah.
Then we got Clea. She costs 2, 1 thwart, 1 attack. She's a mystic. The nice thing with Clea is she's a nice cheap blocker because I want to be up and attacking, so I need my allies to probably defend for me. And when Clea is defeated, she gets shuffled back into your deck. Next, we got Polaris here. She costs 3, 1 thwart, 2 attack, 3 hit points. After Polaris enters play, give an X-Men character a tough status. Now, I don't have any other X-Men in this deck, so Polaris would have it for herself, but then she can defend that first turn, and then, she can do some damage to help, soften up minions and still be a blocker, So she can be used in a couple turns. Then we have Come Get Me, Bub. It's a hero action. Discard cards from the encounter deck until you discard a minion, which of course is what you want. And then put that minion into play, engage with you, heal 3 damage from your identity, and give yourself a tough status. But the nice thing is, of course, then it's helping with your hand size.
I always thought it was a little interesting the fact that it's a hero action, but you had to heal damage to the identity. I was like, why didn't you see it to your hero? Would have taken up less space on the card.
Yeah. All right. Then we have anticipated attack. So play only if there's a side scheme in I do have a side scheme in here.
Side schemes. Oh, who plays side schemes?
Yeah, or you just play with Dirk.
Yeah, just playing a game with me. You're using side schemes.
When an enemy initiates an attack, give your hero a tough status card. And she's going to take damage probably in this deck at some point. So heal 2 damage from your hero to deal 2 damage to an enemy. So that's just I really like that card.
Yeah, and the important thing about this one, though, that a lot of people miss is the fact that you have the arrow in there. So you do have to be able to heal the damage to be able to deal the damage.
Yeah. All right. And then we got Powerful Punch. So when an enemy initiates attacks, deal 4 damage to that enemy. So this is nice. You can take out a minion, especially if you got 4, say, minion. You're engaged with 4 minions because you only need 3 for the card draw. But if you start getting overwhelmed a little bit, you've got a way to maybe take out a minion before it damages you.
Well, what I love about this one is she's got the 3 defense, so you defend against the villain and throw the powerful punch against the enemy who has hunted on him, so you can ready.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, in the villain phase.
Yeah.
All right. So this is a spoiler for some cards that I have coming up because she doesn't have any tech. Because her amulet's magic, probably. I don't think it has I don't know if it has a trait. Oh, it's an artifact. Okay, i.e. magic. Discard a tech upgrade you
That's a different
control.
thing.
Ready your hero and choose thwart, attack, or defense. And until the end of the round, your hero gets plus X to the chosen power, where X is equal to the printed cost.
You're probably picking attack. Oh, wait, actually, yeah, you're probably picking attack.
Yeah, more than likely. So then we got subdue here. So when an enemy initiates attack, the enemy gets -3 for the attack. So I don't want to defend. I don't want to exhaust because I want to be ready, especially to to be able to attack the minions on the
Yeah,
hero
defending
phase.
is a last resort.
So I've got more cards that you can trigger that you don't have to actually actively defend.
Yep.
So that's where the allies come into play as well. Uh, then we got tackle here. This is a 3-cost attack. And then you could stun an enemy, and if you spend a strength, you can deal 3 damage to the enemy. And of course, the Cat Head's Amulet generates strength.
And now the Cat Head's Amulet, it does require exhausting, right?
Exhausted, yeah. So
Yeah.
if you use it, yeah. But this is a hero.
There it is, right
This is
there.
a hero card. So yeah.
Right, yeah.
All right. And then again, as you can tell from this theme, trying to avoid damage is the theme of this deck. So we got established perimeter here. Give each identity a tough status card, and it's 2 threat per player.
Yeah. I would actually probably use this one a little bit more if it gave it to each character or each friendly character. But I mean, in this deck, it works. But I don't use it a lot because it's just the heroes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a fairly cheap way to get toughs out, though.
Yeah, I know it is. And I mean, it's only 2 per player. So
yeah. All right. Then this is mainly because it's a protection deck, and this so I got Dr. Sinclair here. She's a 2 she costs 2, and you can exhaust as an alter ego action. You can exhaust or spend a mental to heal damage from your alter ego equal to your recovery, and you may discard a status.
Yeah, that to me, that's the important thing about it right there.
Yeah.
Is the discarding the status.
But if you don't want to go down, you've got the Night Nurse, but she's only got 3 uses. And you remove 1 medical counter from her, and you heal 1 damage, and then you can get rid of a stun or confuse.
Yeah, and I actually like playing the doctor and the nurse in the same deck because whenever I'm, if I'll go down and take advantage of the doctor whenever I'm able to, but if not, I've got the night nurse that prevents me from having to go down to do something very similar.
Okay.
Because for me, the majority of the time, they're not in there for the healing as much as they are getting rid of the statuses.
All right, then we got Anticipation. This is it's a preparation card, max 1 per player. When you engage a minion, discard this card and ready your hero. And again, you want minions. So.
Oh yeah, and you're gonna be trying to engage as many minions as you can.
They're an armor vest, so sometimes I am going to actually have to defend. So this just gives you +1 to your defense. We got defensive stance here, max 1 per player. When you would take any amount of damage, you can discard it to prevent 3 of that damage.
Yeah, and I love that, the fact that you just put it out there and you hold it until you need it.
Yep. And that's the purpose of the deck. That's where these cards, the upcoming cards, are for. Energy barrier. When you would take any amount of damage, you can remove 1 reflection counter from here. It comes with 3, and you prevent 1 damage, and you can deal 1 damage to the enemy. And if it's 1 with hunted, yeah, you get the ready.
And it is not retaliate.
Yep.
So
force field generator here costs 3. It has 6 energy counters. And when you would take any amount of damage, this is a force interrupt, by the way. So when you would take any amount of damage, you remove that many energy counters and prevent the damage. So it doesn't reflect it like the energy barrier, but this is a good way to avoid taking damage.
And what I actually
and it's really good for repurpose.
Yeah, that's the combination I really like there. If you can manage, because it's kind of hard to control, where this is at. But if you can manage to catch this with 1 counter left on it, repurpose for 3.
Yeah, 1 or 2 counters. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we got Indomitables. Again, this is part of the theme of trying to be ready. So after the hero defends, you can discard Indomitable to ready your hero. So then you are going to have to go down at some point. And so this requires a strength to play it, which of course the amulet is good for. But when an enemy would scheme, you can discard ready for a fight. flip to hero form, and then that enemy attacks you instead. So this is if you want to go to alter ego to get a little bigger hand size, you've got Colossus's power to come up.
And I'm going to say, whenever she uses this, she just has to say, yes, yes, I am.
Yes. And then, of course,
is ready for a fight.
And then, of course, you got the force field generator or the energy barriers to take the damage from the attack. So there's that. All right. Then we got stun gun. It costs 2. So I would probably use this mainly for the stunning minions because, you want minions and sometimes you can't deal with them. So you can exhaust stun gun, remove 1 or 2 charge counters from it. 1 charge counter stuns a minion, 2 stuns the villain.
Yeah, and I like the idea of a lot of times whenever we use this, we use it to stun the villain, but I like the idea in her deck to actually use it to stun the minions because you're getting additional uses out of it and you're, being able to delay them until you need them. And plus, the longer they stay out there, the more use you get, the more extra cards you get from them. So,
All right, then we got under control. Attached to a minion, max 1 per minion. After the hero defends against the attached minion's attack and takes no damage, deal 4 damage to the attached minion. And sometimes I am actually going to have to defend, like that previous card, for example. So unflappable is after you defend against an attack and take no damage, you get to draw a card. But so this is taking no damage, but it's not really a perfect defense. So that is my deck 3, protection.
All right.
So now on to deck 4.
On to deck 4. So we are going with with a leadership deck here. Whenever we did our hero not hero review necessarily, what was it, the preview? Whenever we looked at the preview article,
oh yeah,
one of the things that really caught me was the fact that
it's been a little over 24 hours.
I forgot all about
the time of this recording. Anyways, I forgot already.
Yeah, I'm terrible at that. But one of the things that caught my attention was she gets all the extra card draw, and I'm like, well, what if we play into a deck that actually plays further into that? So I even mentioned that I would love to see her in a game with the Maria Recursion. Now, ultimately, it would be somebody else in the game playing the Maria Recursion, but she can actually take advantage of that as well. So, I mean, for the uninitiated out there, Maria, my favorite ally in this game. She is a 2-cost ally shield. She thwarts for 2, attacks for 1, has 2 hit points. But the important thing is, after she enters play, each player draws a card. So she works, she is effective in a solo game. But the more players you have, if you go to a 4-player game, she is phenomenal. So the more players you have, the better she is.
So Dirk was worried when they announced the Maria Hero that he wouldn't be able to play this card anymore. So I think Maria Hero is really fun.
Yeah, Maria Hero is really fun. I do like her a lot. I still think this is my favorite Maria though, just because I can play her with any hero. So of course you've got that. You're wanting to try to play the whole point of this deck is to play the Maria card as many times as you can during a turn so that you can draw as many cards as you can and get to as many Tigra cards as you can with this particular case. So, of course, well, let's see. Oh, first things you got to do, you've got to be able to find Maria, of course. So first card we've got here is Call for Backup. So Call for Backup, this is a 1-cost player side scheme. It comes in with 3 threat per player, but when defeated, each player may search their deck and discard pile for an ally and put that ally into play. So, of course, if you're playing Maria Recursion, Maria's almost always going to be the ally you're looking for. Another way to do it, a classic, is Make the Call. So I'm probably running a full set of these in the deck. Make the Call is a 0-cost event. And you can pay the printed cost of an ally in any player's discard pile, put that ally into play under your control. Of course, you're probably looking for Maria. I mean, situationally, you might look for somebody else, but I don't know if I've ever actually used a Maria Recursion deck and played a different ally with it. So those are a couple of ways you're looking to try to get her out into play as often as possible. But once you've got her into play, she does have 2 hit points here. So, well, that means how are you going to get her back into play? So you've got to have ways to be able to actually get her back into the discard pile or get her out of play again. So, of course, you can use a basic thwart or attack with her. You can use her for a blocker, but some of the things we're trying to do here, one of the first things we've got classic way to do it is get ready. So get ready is a 0 cost event. And whenever you play this, you ready an ally. Of course, you've readied her and used her one time. She takes 1 consequential. You use her a second time. Then you've got her in your discard pile. You can start using make the call to get her back. A couple of other ways to do that, though, to get maybe a little bit more out of her, is you've got a card here.
It's off camera.
You got this. You got this is a 1 cost event, but after you exhaust your hero to make a basic order attack, you're playing Tigra. You're probably using her to make basic attacks. Then you can discard an ally you control. Add that ally's matching power to your hero's power for this turn. Ready your hero. So Maria's only a 1 attack, so she's not adding a lot there. But you're discarding her, so it's like you use her one time, you play the you got this, you add that to Tigra's basic attack, and she's in your discard pile, so you can bring her back. Another way to do it here is go down swinging. So this is a 0 cost event. You discard an ally you control, you deal damage to an enemy equal to that ally's printed cost. So that way you can actually just discard Maria. You deal 2 damage because she costs 2 to an ally. You can soften that ally up for Tigra. Again, it's putting Maria in your discard pile at that turn.
But for this, you got this. I really like doing this with Grant Ward.
Yeah, that is a great one for Grant, but we're not playing Grant here. We're playing Maria.
Okay, fine. You can put Grant in your deck.
You can put Grant in your deck. I'm probably still playing Maria. And then the next one I've got here along those same lines is the Last Stand. So this is a 0 cost event. When an ally you control attacks, it gets +3 attack for this attack. And after the attack resolves, you discard the ally. So what I like here is use Maria, bring her in for 2. You play a make the call or something to ready her. Then you turn around and attack with her and use Last Stand. So then you're attacking for 4.
Get ready.
Get ready. Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, the get ready to ready her. And then the Last Stand. So now you're attacking for 4 with Maria. So there's another great combination as well that, again, discards her and puts her into the discard deck. But get ready is an event that you have to actually have in your hand to be able to do. So you can't always guarantee you're going to do that. I loved it when they introduced this card because it made my Maria Recursion a lot more consistent. And I actually think a lot of times I used to run 3 copies of Get Ready. Now I run 3 copies of Command Team and 1 or 2 copies of Get Ready because Get Ready's free. I like that. And this does come with counters, but you put these out there and you leave them out there till you need it. It's got 3 command counters on it. You can exhaust this, remove a command counter from it, ready an ally. So of course there's several different readies that you've got for Maria. If you can get 3 of the command teams out, you can ready her 3 times in a turn. Of course, you're going to have to play her additional times to do it, but you've got multiple ways to ready her there. Another great card for the Maria Recursion, it's a key card in the Recursion deck, is the Rapid Response. So this is max 1 per player, so you can only have one of these out at a time. You can still play these, and you can chain these by once you use one, you play the next one, and you can get it multiple times in a turn. But after an ally you control is defeated, you discard Rapid Response, put that ally into play from your discard pile, and deal 1 damage to it. So, of course, Maria, however you use to defeat her. Now, you do have to defeat her. So these 3 cards here that discard her don't actually work in this case. So this would be you would want to ready her multiple times, or you can use it whenever you're defending. But I tend to try to use this in the player phase whenever I can to get her more recursion out of her. But you use her up, she goes away, you play the Rapid Response, you bring her back. So you get the card draw when she comes back. And then she's only got 1 health on her left. If you turn around and play another Rapid Response, use her again, you get to bring her back with 1 again. Play your 3rd Rapid Response. There you've got three shots with her in 1 turn.
So that's great, like for the hero phase, but wonder if you don't have that set up, and too bad there's not a way in the villain phase like she could defend for you and like somehow go in your hand, instead of your discard pile.
And that is a lot of times.
If only there was a way to do that.
Yeah. But there is, and that is one thing that I will actually do sometimes with the Rapid Response if I'm using that method. I know I got it, but I will leave her out there and then use her for the villain phase during that. But Another way to do it.
I expected you to play that card.
Aha.
So, like,
So
that's why I have this card.
oh yeah, Dave fed me that one. I fumbled it.
He fumbled it.
But so this is regroup. This is a one cost support, and you play this during the hero phase, but it stays out until the end of the round. But when an ally is defeated by an enemy attack, so it does have to be by an enemy attack, you can return that to its owner's hand instead of discarding it. So it does not put Maria immediately back into play, but it puts her back into your hand, so you can start the whole chain all over again on your next turn. And when the round ends, then you discard the card. But that means if you've actually got multiple allies out there, then you can do that. And a couple of other allies that you do what? Yeah. A couple of other allies that you could do that actually help with the card draw theme is you've got Nick Fury and Nick Fury Sr. So both of these are 4-cost allies. They come in with 2 thwart, 2 attack, 3 hit points. They're both shield. One's a soldier, one's a spy. That's not really relevant in this case. So the important part, what you're probably doing with these is, since you're all about card draw with this combination, is the majority of the time you are going to use, they have multiple different abilities whenever they come into play, but the one you're going to focus on is the 3-card draw with Nick Sr., with Nick Jr., and Nick Sr. here is 2-card draw. So you're probably playing these guys to do that, but then if you've got regroup out, you use them for a defender because they're going away at the end of the round anyways. You use them for defenders for yourself or other players with the regroup, and then you'll get those back as well, so you get additional card draw there. And then the last of the allies that I really like playing in the recursion decks is Lockjaw. Now, the reason I like playing Lockjaw is normally, especially early game, Lockjaw, I'm using him for resources. So he's there. But sometimes I will tend to have resources that I don't really have something to use on, especially if I'm playing like the strength, energy, and genius. So the great thing about Lockjaw here is you can play him from your discard pile during your turn, paying the resource cost. So if you've got extra resources you're not using at the end of the turn, you use Lockjaw, because a lot of times with this recursion, you'll play and play and play until you're out of recursion. You've got those cards left, then you'll pull Lockjaw out of your discard pile, play him. And you've got him, he thwarts for 2, attacks for 2, and then he's a great blocker. And then the last card I've got, of course, here is Clarity of Purpose. So since you're drawing a lot of extra cards, you want to be able to make sure that you've got the resources to play them. So this is a way to help with additional resources here. Clarity of Purpose, you attach to a friendly character, max 1 per character, but you can exhaust this card, deal 1 damage to the attached character, and generate a wild resource. Of course, you're probably not playing it on your allies because you're not keeping your allies around in this deck. You're trying to recur them as much as you can, but you're playing it on Tigra. You deal 1 damage to her, get that resource so you can keep playing stuff. So that's kind of what I'm looking at with the recursion. But like I said, it's primarily you're trying to recur Maria with the flavoring of the 2 Nicks in there to get yourself as much card draw as you possibly can.
Okay. So then that was deck 4.
Yep.
So now for deck 5 is a basic deck. Now I really love basic deck, and I didn't even realize it at first until I actually built the deck, apparently. So there's 25 cards here. So
are you playing these exact proportions?
Yeah, actually, I didn't even realize I pulled like 3 copies of some of the cards.
Oh,
too.
did you?
I didn't even realize that at first. Okay. So yeah, so the first card is Blade. So Blade, he costs 1 thwart, 2 attack, 3 hit points. He's an Avenger vampire. After Blade thwarts or attacks, you can discard a strength resource from your hand, or you discard Blade. Now, the main thing for Blade is that he's cheap, for blocking. But if I get the bonus where I have a strength that I don't need in my hand, hey, that's an added bonus.
Or if you don't have any use in anything that you're using the amulet for, there you go.
No, it has to be from your hand.
Oh, does it have to be from your hand?
Yeah. Blade, you have to discard a strength from your hand.
I never use that ability. I just use it for a blocker.
Yeah, I don't. Cosmo is another cheap blocker. So if you're teaming up with Falcon, hey, that's great because he can actually thwart or attack and not take consequential. But the main thing with Cosmo is, again, you use him once. If he takes a consequential, oh well, he's another cheap blocker. But when he attacks or thwarts, you name a card type, you discard the top card of a deck that's been errata that it's only a player or in the encounter deck now. But if
Yeah,
this
so you can't use it on your invocation deck.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, people are doing that with Doctor Strange. But I think Cosmo's now Falcon's new best friend. If that card is of the name type, Cosmo does not take consequential damage, and the damage under the thwart or the attack for this use. Okay, another nice cheap ally, and it gives you a card draw. Is Ironheart. She costs 2/1/1, 2 hit points, and after you play Ironheart from your hand, draw a card. And then there's going to be what you see later on. There's could be turns where you got a lot of resources in your hand. So I got Lockjaw here. So you could his big power is you can play him from your discard pile. So he costs 4, 2 thwart, 2 consequential, 2 attack, 2 consequential. You may play Lockjaw from your discard pile on your turn, paying its resource.
Yeah, and he was one that I always just kind of overlooked him because of how expensive he was until we started playing the basic decks, and then yeah, he's become a key integral part of those decks for us.
Right, and I got Mockingbird here because I kind of went with a lot of shield stuff you're going to see here in a minute.
Not Asgard?
No, that's my aggression deck. For basic, it's shield. So she costs 3, 1 thwart, 1 attack, 3 hit points. And when she enters play, stun an enemy. So it's great to stun the villain because you got all the minions stunned when you're hunting for them, and then you can just stun the villain and nobody's attacking you.
So you're saying Tigra is stunning now?
Yep. She's always been stunning. All right, then we got Nick Fury here. He costs 4, 2 thwart, 2 attack, 3 hit points. After Nick Fury enters play, choose, draw 3 cards. There's 2 other options.
Yeah, there's some other text on there, but yeah, we don't care.
You could have him do 2 threat or do 4 damage. Then we got Nick Fury Senior. So we got
those 3 cards in a row look familiar.
Yeah. 4 cost, 2 thwart, 2 attack, 3 hit points, draw 2 cards. Or you can remove 3 threat.
Yeah, draw 2 cards.
And then the third member of the disposables is Professor X.
Disposables.
So he costs 3, 3 thwart, 0 attack, 3 hit points. After Professor X enters play, you can confuse the villain so that you allow you to go down to heal or get a bigger hand size. You can stun a minion, or you can ready an X-Men. Well, ready the X-Men doesn't matter, at least for this deck, but if you're teamed up with an X-Men, okay, maybe that could help. But mainly you're doing it to confuse or stun.
Yeah, Dave's talking to the Fantasy Flight to see about actually getting that as a subtitle for those 3 characters is the Expendables.
No, an expendable or disposable.
Or the disposable.
The disposable waves in 2028.
Oh, okay.
I talked to Tony about it.
Oh, okay.
So Vivian, 2 cost ally, 2 thwart, 2 consequential, 1 attack, 1 consequential, 2 hit points. Ariel, Android Champion. Again, she's another cheap one. But after Vivian enters play, choose an attachment, non-elite minion, or a non-permanent side scheme, and you can blank it. So you got an annoying minion, or the villain's got an annoying attachment. At least for a turn, you can not deal with it. But the other thing is she's a nice cheap blocker.
Yeah, I mean she's really versatile, but in this one, yeah, she probably plays into the whole just keeping the minions under control.
Then I got 3 copies of Assess the Situation. So it costs 0, and you get +1 hand size till the end of your phase. So can you imagine, hey, I get +3, I'm engaged with 3 minions, so I get 3 more. So now I'm looking at a hand size of 11 when the hero phase begins.
Can you imagine those sliding those in the aggression deck as well?
Yeah. Well, yeah, they might make it an aggression deck. Who knows?
Well, no, I mean you've got in the aggression deck, yeah, then you're looking at like, oh wow,
I've done that before.
18? No, wait, no, 3, 6, 9, 5, 14. That's 14 cards.
Okay, so
not counting Hall of Heroes.
Most of so the big thing with the basic deck is to access the hero cards as much as possible. But I do have some resources and different cards like the Assess the Situation. So there's some cards that flood the deck a little bit. But her events are really important. So this is a good card of superpower training. It costs 1, 3 threat per player, but each player, when defeated, each player gets to search their deck and discard pile for an identity specific.
This one's the upgrade.
Oh, this is the upgrade.
Yeah.
Oh, and put it in. Oh, that's right. The event.
So this one works good to either get your claws or your amulet.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Or is the amulet an upgrade? Yeah.
Yeah, the amulet's very important, and the claws are so. Yeah,
to kind of help make sure that you get them out early if you get it. It's more opportunities to get them out early.
All right, and then we got the 3 double resources, and since it's a basic deck, we get a blurry Power of All of Us, so I got 2 copies of that.
Yeah.
Avenger Mansion. So this is so we got a lot of those 2 Power of All of Us will pay for this. But you can exhaust the mansion, choose a player, that player gets to draw a card. Front organization, you don't want to lose the claws or the amulet, especially the amulet probably. So this does is when an encounter card would cause you to discard a card you control, discard the front organization instead of discarding that card.
And the best part about this card in these basic decks is since you've got such a large board state that your hand or your deck itself is very thin, so you get this card back really fast.
Yeah. Yeah, and nothing's more annoying than a ill-timed caught off guard or something. Then I've got a lot of shields because with Mockingbird and both Nyx and stuff. So Government Liaison, you can exhaust Government Liaison, play a shield card from your hand, reducing its cost by 1. Helicarrier, 3 cost support. And so actually the Government Liaison would make this a little cheaper to play it. You can exhaust a Helicarrier, choose a player, and they get a 1 cost discount.
You know what? Thinking about the Government Liaison actually would work in the Maria Recursion decks.
Because she is.
But well, no, you have to exhaust it, so you only get 1 use out of it.
Yeah.
Probably not that beneficial then.
Quick
Takes up a valuable spot.
Well, but I mean, with make the
yeah.
So we got a Quinn Carrier here. It's a 3 cost support Avenger vehicle. Play only if you have the Avenger trait. You do. Exhaust Quinn Carrier to generate a strength resource. Since eventually the Nyx are going to be cycled through quite a bit, and Mockingbird. So I got a Sky Destroyer here, 3 cost support, shield vehicle. After you play a shield card, you can exhaust Sky Destroyer, deal 2 damage to an enemy. And this is card number 40, which may or may get replaced with something else depending on how many superpowers she has. Right now we've seen 2 cards. I'm assuming there's 2 copies of the attack, at least. So we got Depth Focus here. Exhaust Depth Focus, reduce the resource cost of the next superpower card you play this turn by 1.
Yeah, and I have a feeling. I mean, normally whenever we see it, we'll see an attack and a thwart whenever we do one or the other. So I have a feeling we're probably seeing.
Well, no, her thwart is Alter Ego. So her superpower, so cat-like reflexes. So this is a defense card. Right. So there may be more than 1 copy. I don't know. And then this is her thwarting as the priest. It's not an event.
But we've seen other ways to thwart there that still come with the superpower. So I think we might see another superpower there. But yeah, Depth Focus
I strongly suspect that that there's probably another attack event. That's probably
second attack event.
Yeah,
different
than Tooth and Claw because you want to grab a bunch of minions and then you want ways to get rid of them. Now, the precon comes in aggression, so that they could have addressed it that way, but the fact that you want a bunch of minions having 2 different attack events, like 2 copies each or something, would be a way to deal with all the minions you're getting. Now I haven't sat down and counted all the card numbers and stuff to see.
Well, I haven't showed us enough to really tell.
Yeah. I mean, could be some big gaps, but I suspect Depth Focus will be nice in her deck, but if not, I'll pull it out and who knows, maybe I'll put an endurance in or something, because whatever. Anyways, so that is my.
I'd put like a Ready to Rumble in.
Well, I don't think I'd be flipping very often, but.
No, Tenacity.
Tenacity, yeah.
I put a Tenacity in.
Yeah, that's actually not a bad idea.
If I took the Depth Focus out, I'd probably leave the Depth Focus in.
Yeah.
If she's got enough superpowers, but if not, I'd probably put a Tenacity.
It is a good way to deal with especially with the you get the extra attack or at least with one of the attacks, you get extra damage and an extra ability. But then being able to ready, then you could just do a standard attack, on a second minion or something. Yep. Yeah. Okay. Well, anyways, so that was our 5 deck ideas for Tigra. Definitely looking forward to her coming in Civil War in September. And the other hero was Hulkling. Hulkling, yeah. And they said he was protection in the article. So we'll see. I'm guessing that we'll see since the product's coming out in theory 4 or 5 weeks, we should see the Hulkling Hero article in a week or two, I would think.
Yeah, they've got to be coming out with that one soon.
Yeah. And yeah, so that's pretty fun. Tiger looks really fun.
Oh yeah, she does. She looks
I
like
think
a
aggression again is going to be her best aspect, but you know, it's fun to play all the heroes in the different aspects.
like what I'm really interested to see, and I think maybe we'll do this on the channel, is like you play her aggression, I'll throw a Maria recursion deck and see how many cards we can get in our opening hand, or in a hand for her.
Oh,
See how many we can get to.
yeah, as long as it's not Nova.
Yeah, because Nova wants the kills then instead. So we won't do Nova.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyways, thank you for watching, everyone. Please like and subscribe.
And if you want to see more content by us, go ahead and hit that notification bell down there, and you will get alerts when we post new videos. All right. See ya.